Radio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. You're in touch with This Is Libby. I'm Libby, and this is radio the way it should be heard. Most of the time, I like talking to the heart of everyone who visits with Libby. Today, I'm very interested in listening to the heart of our men. Their voices rattle my bones. And the reason that I'm doing this is because there are things that are happening to us, and I need a little help. You know, every once in a while, sister needs a little help, so she got her some help. I want to let you know I need you to call me, 1-877-932-9766, and talk to you some Libby. Let me know what your insights are when we're speaking about such things as infant mortality. You know, you hear a lot of conversation about infant mortality. And if it does not touch you, you have no clue of the horror that goes on in the family. See, I'm stuttering because it happened to me too. So what I want to say to you is you don't even want this on your enemy. That's how bad it is. I believe, and I've been told, that it's preventable. A lot of it is preventable. Some of it's on purpose. Now, those conspiracy theories, you know how that goes, right? So I have friends with me, and I want somebody to help a sister out. I'm going to ask you one more time, and I'm asking, after that, I just want you to call 1-877-932-9766 and talk to you some Libby. I want you to know that you are in the company of some wonderful people, very knowledgeable, and they'll help me help you. Maybe we can avoid a problem with you and your babies. Babies and elders, that's my passion. Men are my lovies and women, my strong tower. So let's do this. I want you to introduce yourselves, everyone in this room. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Who are you?
Hello.
You know I can't stand them already.
Yeah.
Go on, brother. Go ahead. Tell everyone your names.
My name is Brother Cecil Ahad.
And next to Brother Cecil,
Norman V. Whiteside.
And next to Norman,
I'm Demetrius Cantrell from the Cabrini Green Housing Development.
woo, yeah.
That's that project again.
There you go. And you know what? I just need to remind you that Talktainment Radio is radio the way it should be heard. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Let's get started with what's on your heart. There's more to infant mortality than just babies dying. So what's on your heart? One by one, tell me what it is that's on your heart about this subject, and we can move from another subject. Okay? We can do this. So go ahead. One of you just get started. We're just going to talk. There's no...
Well, I think of
yes.
I think of a lady, when you have a kid, a child, an infant,
Yes.
you should just, like I said, put her in a cradle by herself on his back. You know, let her sleep alone. Some ladies like to sleep with their babies all the time, and sometimes they roll over on the baby. You know, the baby get caught up between the bed and the wall, whatever. By me being from the Cabrini Green, I went to a lot of funerals like that where babies died, you know, young like that, you know, caught between the bed, or somebody left the baby alone. They was in the front room doing something else and come back and the baby then enlarged itself. You know, lost babies, and like you said, that hurts. That hurts worse than anything. And I, like you said, I wouldn't want to wish it on my worst enemy.
No, it's horrible.
I mean, just let the baby sleep by itself in the crib alone on his back. And I think that with nothing in the crib with it, you know, no kind of toys, none of that stuff. I think that probably can avoid a lot of the senseless ones, that I experienced in my life.
Brother Jink, I think that one of the very most important things before Brother Cecil Ahad gives his presentation is to understand that from the position of the Ohio Department of Health and Vital Statistics, IMR, or infant mortality rate, is defined as the number of deaths of children under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births.
Wow.
So when you have any type of thing like that, you have to bring the genesis. In other words, you have to know what the ABCs are before you know how to use the ABCs to make them form words, and so that you get into the communication. So the first thing before Brother Cecil Ahad presents his presentation, I will say again, and I'm reading from the Ohio Department of Health Vital Statistics. Infant mortality rate is defined as the number of deaths of children under 1 year of age per 1,000 live births. And then they say that in this whole thing, that the infant mortality rates in Ohio have remained relatively stable between 1996 and 2007, then rose for both blacks and whites in 2005, but decreased in 2006 and 2007. Ohio was far from meeting the Healthy People 2010 objective of 4.5, and Ohio's infant mortality rate is worse than the nation's 6.87 per 1,000 live births in 2005. And then, that's the first thing we did, because even before people like Brother Cecil and Brother Frederick Lamar, Pastor Frederick Lamar, brought these things to the attention of the community, I admit solely that I was ignorant to how this was applicable to our communities. And so the fact that I get an opportunity tonight to even be educated further about this is an honor. And in knowing what I know about Brother Cecil Ahad, it is even a greater honor knowing that the Most High has brought him up to a point of such a care, a compassion for humans and the community, that this has suddenly become something else I've added to my plate to fully understand.
And let her sister say she overstands. The bottom line is, the main reason that I have these gentlemen with me is because when a child dies, most of the time, the way it happens, it's not purposive, but it's just the way it happens. The mothers get a lot of attention, and the fathers don't. And I'm saying this to you because I've experienced it, as well as I've talked to other women and men who've lost babies. So this isn't something that I just decided to just pull out of a hat. I've thought about it for many years. I didn't know how to approach it because it's so painful, but I worked through that, and I need to know, for you to know, that the heart of our men is just as important when those babies stop breathing, or they find them dead, or funeral services, and the whole thing is a horror. So what I want to do now is I want Brother Cecil to talk to us, and I'm going to be asking some questions, but this is one time when Libby's actually going to be listening to the heart of men. You understand what I'm talking about? I hope so. So Brother Cecil, would you tell us some of the information that you've got to share with us?
Yes, ma'am. And I want to thank my brother Norman over here for his research and sharing that information he did, because there's even today, there's a lot of people, they don't know what infant mortality is. We're sitting here talking about it, and some people out there listening saying, what are they talking about? So we go out actually and knock on doors and talk to people, and you would be surprised at the people we ask. You heard of infant mortality? No, what is that? And then sometimes once you tell them about it, and you might get the door slammed in your face at different times, believe it or not.
Well, it's not a fun subject.
No.
There's nothing fun about talking about infant mortality.
That's right.
If you want to do it a little different, babies dying, okay? Babies dying. However, whether they die in the womb, or whether they die right after they come out, or maybe make it 6 months, call it SIDS. And for me, SIDS used to anger me because it was another way, that's just the way I looked at it. It's another way to calm that down. It's SIDS, and it just couldn't be helped, and you did all you. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
However, when you approach someone, if I'm correct, Brother Cecil, then it means you're knocking at the door of someone who may already have a house full of children. I don't want to hear that. No. That's like listening to Libby at 7 o'clock at night. You've just finished dinner, and I'm telling you that the stuff you put in the microwave is poison. And you just gave it to, and you gave them some pop. And the pop, they use that to clean engines. You get what I'm saying with this? This is not a fun subject, but my sister Joy says sometimes you got to put your big girl panties on. Okay. With that being said, remember to call me 1-877-932-9766. Call you some Libby and ask the gentleman, speak to the heart of us from your perspective. So, Brother Cecil, since you got doors slammed in your face, what else happens?
Well, and it's correct what you say. You know, it's hard. The girl answers the door, got a little baby there beside her, and you're talking about your baby's dying. Yeah. Babies are dying before they reach 1 year old. So that's hard. They don't want to hear that. It's almost like you janking me or something. I don't want to hear that. That's frightening. But there's some misconceptions and overstanding. Overstanding.
Just stand.
Stand. I still don't understand that concept. I told Libby today, I'm trying to buy it. Because, you know, there's the obverse and they say the contrapositive to all of these kind of things. So I have to get with Libby. We got an appointment to learn this overstanding.
We got to know all the
code. The simple thing is this. It's very simple. It's not difficult at all. We've been taught, conditioned to believe that we should understand. Now, we don't have to under anything. We've been underachievers. We've been told these things. Now we're in a position to overstand, to get it. It's not difficult to do that. So that's why I say it. And in honor of Malika Fakir, who used to say it to me, wonderful teacher and friend, now she's my ancestor, I overstand what you're talking about. And there's something in that for me. It works for me. And if it works for you, use it.
But while you was talking about underachievers, I'm going to tell you what. In our school, overachievers got whooped down.
That's right.
That, too, is a mindset. Right. You have to change that. Geeks are...
But anyway, one of the things that, like, is this program progresses, often when I see a lot of women going to buy cigarettes that now cost about $60 a pack.
Yes.
One of the things that is a prelude to infant mortality is women who smoke. Women who, and I'm not talking about, don't take my word for it. I'm going to always say, do not take my word for it.
Right.
You know, check with the Ohio Health Department and find the stats. And if you don't want to believe what a lot of research has cited, then, you know, listen, be ignorant in your own mind. The other thing, women with high blood pressure or diabetes, did you know that when you don't get that thing under control during pregnancy, you cause the prelude to the infant mortality rate, because now you have caused that baby to have some preterm deficits while you're sitting up there wondering, thinking of like you taking all this blood pressure medicine, diabetic medicine, and you don't understand how that, and these are two of the major things. Smoking, high blood pressure, and diabetes are some of the preludes to this particular thing. And then again, it may, you know, like as women smoking, you see them, do what you want to do. This is America and you should have a choice. But when your choice, I say people have the right to do whatever they want to do, as long as the right that they have does not affect somebody else's right to do and live as they need to.
Okay. And you know, Brother Norman, he's on it again. Yeah. So he's right on trail. But I want to share with back to the overstanding.
Let's overstand. They're going to work me today. You know that. I have no air to lose over this thing today.
So we hear about, we've been conditioned to focus on the young men.
Yes.
Young men killing each other, all this stuff,
Yes.
in the neighborhood, they're killing each other, fratricide, all these things. And that took all our focus why these babies were dying. But no, that's what shifted me from dealing with the violence and the gangs and the homies from shooting and killing each
Yes.
other. But all the while, these babies, this is not new. This stuff goes back 50,
Libby, I'd like
50 years.
I'd like to ask you, Brother Cecil, because as I looked at your site, you call it Men for Movements,
Yes,
right? And you and Brother Pastor Frederick Lamar, you two guys be on the front line. You and Brother Donnell Muhammad, let's say you three guys. Brother Donnell Muhammad, he kind of sits back and out of the way, and like he lets you and Brother Lamar.
Well, we have a great relationship. The Muslims, the Christians.
Yes.
The relationship. We give a lot of credit to Pastor Lamar, who you don't find a lot of preachers and pastors that they're afraid to go as deep as he has, and accepting us even in the church and to be a part of his ministry, which we have been for the past 10 years. And
that's why I brought that out, because I didn't know until today that you got this wonderful newsletter with all this information.
Well, that comes out every month. We have had 108 consecutive themes and marches, 108 since 2009. But I want to make this point about the overstanding about the ABCs of sleep as well, because that's what you hear a lot. That is the number one preventable cause of infant mortality. The crib death, where a woman is sleeping in the bed with the baby, fall asleep, maybe breastfeeding, rolling over, the baby suffocating, putting the baby in the crib. With giving them teddy bears and all these stuffed animals. But that is from January to August of 2018, this year, 97 babies have died.
No.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
No.
You mean they will not? Everybody wants to be up in arm about the homicide rate,
here we go.
and will not. Ooh, Lord.
97 babies have died. So that's more than the homicide.
That's what I'm saying. Why isn't that kind of stuff on the front page? Why?
It's not newsworthy.
No, that's not true. It is. It is.
Is it making any money?
Is
it generating wealth for somebody?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, now
that's
the
why I'm saying that.
Now, one thing that you brought up, brother Cecil, that I need to know, because it was paralleled as far as black children. Are you saying that black women are more prone to roll over on their babies and suffocate them than white women?
That's the least, again. And so out of that 97 babies that died, 21 of them are sleep related. Only 21. 21.
Okay.
This is from January to August.
Educate me, brother.
Okay.
Come on.
Wow.
21 babies.
Wow.
The rest, the number one cause of infant mortality is premature. Babies born premature, no weight.
Early.
What causes that? Smoking. Women that smoke. Women that are on drugs. Women that sit back. Believe it or not, last year, 900 women went to the emergency room when it was time for them to have a baby. They never went to the doctor the whole time.
For any prenatal care?
Nothing. They just walked in the emergency room. They didn't have a doctor. So let me tell you these other numbers, and these numbers come from the Department of Health in the Columbus here, because they deal with vital statistics. This is where we get these numbers from. 70% of those babies that died from January to August, this August, they died before they reached 28 days old.
No. Yeah, no.
28 days.
We gotta stop right here.
Okay.
We gotta stop right here.
I mean, February.
How many babies?
70% of that 97 babies that died didn't make it 28 days old.
Because
Mama.
because the main, okay, 97 babies died.
Okay.
21 of those babies were sleep related.
Okay.
That means,
less than half.
you know, they was rolled over, suffocated. People don't understand. You put a baby roll over on his stomach, they don't have the strength to turn over, and then they
just faces are right into the
vomit, and it goes back up in them. 30% of those babies died within that 1 year. But just imagine that 70% of those babies died. Didn't even make it 28 days. Never. You hear the stories. They never even took the baby pictures. They never got the shoe print. Those types of stories. Then another thing that Brother Norman brought up about the smoking and what happens when the women smoke goes into the baby, the hypertension. So we got maternal and infant mortality. The women, black women, are dying at a much higher rate than any other group of women after they had babies because of the hypertension, because of hemorrhaging. They're sending these women home. They're having heart attacks. Women don't even know the health that they're in. Are they even capable of having a baby? You know, is their health care.
Okay, so I hear, you know, my brother, he's on the end here and he's talking, and I just need to hear what you said. What was it you said?
About the what?
Oh, well, you were responding to the statistics, and
it's not even 50% of it's the mic. Okay, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, anyway, I'm just in shock by what he was saying about 97 babies dying, and only 21 of those 97 was crib related. What I was talking about earlier, ABCs of the crib. So the other, I'm talking like 2/3 of those babies died from ladies getting high off drugs and out there doing all kinds of stuff to their body while the baby's inside of them. They're not taking care of themselves. Like you were saying, they didn't go to the doctors, they didn't get their prenatal care. They just stayed pregnant and went to have the baby at the last minute.
Okay, now this is where I got to do two things. One, I want to remind you all that talktainmentradio.com, we go where you go, okay? We go where you go. So you can click on programs for scheduled times, and talktainmentradio.com is radio the way that it should be heard. Yeah. I'm moving slow on that. I'm going to tell you how come. Because my question is, where the daddies? I know, don't jump on me. Where the daddies? See, in my situation, the baby was not born alive. Couldn't do anything about that. Did everything I was supposed to do. So did he. However, when that baby came out, it wasn't breathing. Too long before we could even consider resuscitation. Now, where the daddies? Come on, y'all, help me out. Where's the daddies? Where y'all? Where they at?
Let me say something about.
It's not anything negative. It's not negative.
I understand it, but watch this here. One of the things that happen when, as we talk about this thing, is that and it's not a guilt fit. It's not a guilt trip where I'm about to come from. Now, listen, but as my children were babies, I allowed them to sleep on my chest. I had no clue. Right. You know, and then and through the night I was always watchful. It was my understanding and my belief that if they slept in a crib, you really didn't want that much to do with them. And I wanted my baby.
There you go.
I wanted my baby to know that, hey, your daddy loves you, and so much so you will not be sleeping in no crib in no other room with no baby monitor. And then when I would see them shows which would have baby monitors in the crib, it's about, why ain't the baby in the same room with you? And then so now here I come to find out that if all of these stats were correct, because Wendy Wisner out of ScaryMama.com, she says, America's infant mortality rate is embarrassing and unacceptable, especially in a country that is supposed to be on the cutting edge of life-saving medical expertise and treatments. As the CDC explains, the country's infant mortality rate says a lot more where the country is in terms of overall health and well-being, because factors affecting the health of an entire population can also impact the mortality rates of infants. Now, as if this information weren't upsetting enough, let's look at the next statistic about the mortality to come right here. There are significant differences in infant mortality by race and ethnicity. For instance, the mortality rate for black infants is more than twice that of white infants. So is that to say that because, Brother Cecil, that some people who were ignorant, like I was, got all my babies up in the bed with me, you know. Now, I ain't talking about and as a matter of fact, that's why I used to get upset when people talk about Michael Jackson with the babies in the bed. Because I said, wait a minute. Yep. You know, I mean, like, I was raised, I mean, my mama kept me in the bed with her, you know, and because this was her nurturing and her love. So, but now you're saying, is this thing happening in terms of the sleep-related deaths because the mama believes she is closer to the baby?
No, well, it's back to education again.
Okay.
It's like what you didn't have no idea.
I had no idea.
Okay, it's still like that today. So
to this very moment.
So it's back to Libby's question. Where are the men? So now we talk about the detriments of infant mortality. Why is this happening? Okay. So we deal with the detriments of infant mortality is racism, poverty,
police,
stress. Look what these women live. You got 5 babies, 5 different daddies.
Yes.
Okay, now you're pregnant.
Okay.
Then your dude just got out of jail. He got an ankle monitor on, and he got no. It's a lot of stress and things that women, the environment that we live in. So this is so we ain't gonna give them a break because it's not all girls' fault.
Right. Now here's the question that some people ask is, okay, now watch this. All right, and this is not condemnation. Who told him to lay down and have all them babies?
Okay, Libby, there you go.
I'm just saying this is not condemnation.
I am with you on this because we don't have to make the babies. However, just like those words, conditioning, tradition,
that's right,
bad education,
social condition,
all of that, it's all
social
in there.
Engineering.
So I know that at some point in time we're going to have to talk about, well, where do we go from here?
Right.
However, first I feel that we need to make sure that folks know that this actually exists, that 97 babies died.
Well, that's
a very short period of time. And then the black babies, the numbers are double than white babies. Why?
And Libby, the answer to your question is right here. It starts with brothers like Cecil Hart, with brothers like Brother Franklin Mark, because somebody got the idea, and here the men are. A lot of times,
that's right,
like when like Les Brown always say, if they knew better, they do better.
That's right.
So, and the fact is,
teach one.
Right, so we start somewhere.
And you got other brothers. You got Byron Potts and Nathaniel Jordan.
Oh yes. Fatherhood Matter.
They're out here with Fatherhood Matter.
Right.
ABC's asleep. But let me give you some more facts, some things to know that you can. It's facts. 150 babies die a year. That's how it's been.
That's more than the homicide rate.
Okay, 150.
That's a lot.
Out of 3 babies die a week. You average that out in Franklin County.
And just in Franklin
So
County.
we're talking about Columbus, Franklin County.
So these statistics that you're sharing with us now, are they statewide, or is this nationwide, or how am I supposed to put this in a bubble?
In nationwide, Columbus is ranked. There's only one other state that has a higher infant mortality rate than Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio, right now.
Okay,
and that's Mississippi. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is here.
Wow,
but
deep.
It is because so let me tell you these numbers. So from January to August, 12,095 babies were born.
Okay, 12,000.
All right.
12,000.
31% of the babies that were born to, they use this language, non-Hispanic black.
Gotcha.
But we talking about black people. Okay, whites and others.
Right.
Out of 31%, 51% of the babies that died were black.
All right, now let's hold it right here so I can share with everyone that talktainmentradio.com, we go where you go. Check us out on 94.1 WGRN. The podcasts are available, so download talktainmentradio.com app to your cell or tablet. Now that's radio, the way it should be heard. Now, coming up next, we got to get rid of these statistics on This Is Libby, talktainmentradio.com.